Hello and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to cover my 2023 archery setup. I made a few changes from the Omnia that I was shooting, and I decided to go to a different brand altogether, and I'll detail the reasons why I decided to make that change. The change was pretty subtle, not a huge reason why I made the change, but I am far more confident in this new setup that I got, and I'm super excited about it going into the season. So first we'll cover my arrow. I did make a little bit of a change on my arrow. It's still the same length, still a Black Eagle Rampage. I just stripped the logos off of them. The Omnia was a little bit faster, so I could get away with a slightly heavier arrow. However, I wanted to stay roughly the same speed as I was getting with the Omnia, so I decided to drop about 35 grains, maybe a little bit more, 45 grains off my total arrow weight. So I took all my inserts out and I switched it over to the Sirius half jacket system, the full aluminum half jacket, and this arrow comes out to about 485 grains with a standard knock and about 18% FOC. So that's with a 125 head, and they're flying phenomenal. I think that I'll have very good performance out of these compared to what my 530 grain arrow was doing. So I'm pretty excited about this arrow setup going into this year. It should be kind of a perfect blend of best of both worlds for this setup. So as far as the bow, I decided to switch over to PSE. Now, mind you, I'm not sponsored by anybody. Nobody pays me to shoot any of these. However, I'm super excited about this system. I really wanted to try to locate a Fortis 33, but finding one left-handed a couple weeks before season is pretty impossible. But I did find this Evo XF33, which is very similar to the Fortis. This bow has the EC cam, and it is set at 72 pounds. At my draw length on a PSE, which is 28.5 inches, I'm getting 270 to 272 feet per second out of this bow. It's super forgiving. It's got a 7 1/8 inch brace height and 33 inch axle to axle compared to my Omnia, which was a 32 inch axle to axle and 6 inch brace height. This bow just shoots great, holds great, and is very forgiving, especially when shooting broadheads at distance. I've never shot as tight a groups with broadheads out to 90 and 100 yards as I do with this bow. Would I harvest an animal at 90 or 100 yards? If the situation was right, possibly, but most likely not. However, this bow can definitely do it. It's super forgiving, and I'm super excited about that. Now, a couple of the upgrades I did that does not come on this bow is I do have the Titanium Archery Products draw stops and the new Gen 2 Titanium Archery Products roller guard. As well, I have the Titanium Archery Products DOA stabilizers with 8 ounces on the back, 2 ounces on the front, a riser dampener, the Limb Saber Quad limb dampeners, and the Titanium Archery Product back bar mount. I'm still running the Tight Spot Pivot 2.5 quiver with the foam in the hood, and I will be using the Sever 1.75, 1.5, and the Magnus Stinger buzz cuts, all in 125 grain for my broadheads this year. I tend to carry multiple kinds of broadheads in my quiver for different situations that may arise. I also swapped over my Hamsky Epsilon from my Omnia to this bow, and that tuned up just fine, as everybody seems to love the Epsilon. I do as well. However, the big change for me is this sight. I have been using a HHA Kingpin with a 3-pin housing for about 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit longer, and absolutely loved it, but wanted to give Spot Hog a try. So I got the 3-pin, not the triple stack. I got the horizontal 3-pin, and I'm really enjoying it. There's a lot of adjustments in this sight, horizontally, vertically, pin orientation, the MRT rings. The sight tape is phenomenal. I prefer a sight tape that's on the outside of the bow as to the inside of the bow. This sight has been phenomenal. My only gripe is that the pins are really bright, and there's not a good way to kind of dim those pins down. However, I can live with that, as at distance, middle of the day and end of the day, it has been not an issue. So that is the big change on this bow from the Omnia, is my sight. I'm super excited about this spot hog. I'm super excited about this setup. Now I'm also using Unbound Archery's VEC 99 Bloodline strings, which I always use on every single bow. The big reason that made me switch over to this PSE is in past years, any bow with a yoke system, PSE, the older Hoyts, Bowtechs, anything with a yoke system, with the older string materials that were out that did stretch over time, your yoke tuning was phenomenal to have. However, when your strings would stretch, it would come out of tune and you'd constantly have to go back and tweak it to get it right back to where you want it, shooting perfect bullet holes with a bare shaft. However, with VEC 99 being so resistant to stretching, I know that I can run a yoke system bow and basically set it and forget it and have no moving parts. So with the Omnia set technology, it's great. I've only ever had set technology move on me one time, but it's not a set it and forget it system. It can move. The yoke system with these strings having such a little stretch in them that after about 15-20 shots, if you go back and you revisit it and you set it, it's not going to move again. And with that being said, I have shims to be able to shim if I need to, but I also have the yoke system for fine-tune adjustments to get perfect flight with my broadheads at distance. And that's just a huge confidence booster for me, is being able to have a yoke system which is easily adjustable and having it not move throughout the year. So overall, that's my setup. That's all I have for today's video. This is going to be the setup I'll be using for the rest of 2023, and the bow that you guys will be seeing in any of my hunting videos for this year. If you guys got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. If you're still looking to get any bow work done for the year, you can reach out to me on my Facebook page. I'd be more than happy to help you out, or even just answer questions and swap hunting stories if that's what you want to do too. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks, and have a great day.